So I get asked all the time, do I have any social media? And the answer to that, as I always say, is absolutely not. No, I don't agree with any social media. And then people will say, but you've got Instagram. I have to have Instagram because I wanted to help people. So I decided Instagram was the best way to help. That way they can just look up my account, send me a PM, a personal message, and I can help them out. That's the only reason I've got Instagram. I don't like any social media. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what on earth has that got to do with what I've just clicked on this video for? Well, I get a lot of messages a lot of the time asking about Nitro. How do I do this? How do I do that? And as we know, well, hopefully maybe some of you know, I'd started a little series to try and help some people out with Nitro, the beginner's guide to Nitro RC. And I use an FTX Carnage as an example. And I thought it would be nice, let's talk about it, because recently it must be a bit of an influx coming in, I suppose, because perhaps the summer's on its way and maybe people are starting to get into new hobbies and they're getting into Nitro. And maybe they're coming across my videos, well, some of these people must be, I suppose, and they're asking, why have you picked a Carnage as like the example? Why is an FTX Carnage a good beginner's Nitro car? Well, the reason I believe this is a good one, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's loads of good cars out there that are good for people that are beginning in Nitro RC, because, well, you know, you could get yourself even the Hyper 7. I mean, some people would probably disagree, but you could get yourself a Hyper 7, an MP9. There's loads of cars you could get as a beginner. But what I like about the FTX Carnage, and this particular one, is one that I was in the middle of doing a load of upgrades to. I was using it as an upgraded one. The engine's loose and not in it. But the whole point is, this is the Carnage, although it might not be the strongest car, it might not be, you know, the most well thought out car, or, you know, the parts might not be the best, or whatever you want to say for the price point or whatever. The fact is, the whole design of it, it's very, very basic. You've got an engine which literally just bolts there. The radio tray, it's there, you know. Throttle servo is there. You can change it very easily. You don't have to do a load of stuff. Undo the 4 bolts. Servo comes out. Obviously, you've got to unplug it and put the wire through. Steering servo, it's right there. Exhaust, fuel tank is there. The diff is there. Easily accessible. Everything is easily accessible and to get to for a beginner. And in my opinion, if you're a beginner at something, you don't want to be messing around because you haven't got the patience yet. You don't know how things work. And in order to progress in something, you need to know how things work. And if you start with something which is simple and basic, you learn how that works easier because your patience isn't being tested. A lot of people, they buy a complicated car like a savage. Steering servos underneath, you have to take a lot of stuff out. You have to take all the lid off, all the radio tray out to get to the steering servo. If your steering servo breaks, your engine is held in by bolts that are hard to get to. It's a lot more complicated in the way, although it's still, the design is still a basic design, but everything's a bit more complicated to get to. The diffs are more difficult to get to. You're having to break a diff. So I think the Carnage is just a very good car for beginners, and that's why I decided to choose it as my go-to example car. And as I say, this isn't the one I was using, it's the other one, the one that's standard. This particular one, I was in the middle of, a couple of years ago, I was going to do every single upgrade there is. Wheelspin models have loads and loads of upgraded parts. I started upgraded servos. I got this exhaust from America. The Crazy Dad Nitro sent me the exhaust, so I didn't have to buy that. I was going to put a different engine in it, and then I'm in the middle of it. Look, well, that's where it stayed 2 years ago, and other stuff took over. But I do plan this year on continuing it and having this one as a highly modified FTX Carnage. All of the modifications that Wheelspin that I can find on wheelspin models anyway. I don't know about other shops. I haven't even looked on FTX themselves sell loads of upgraded parts for these Carnages. Spare parts and upgrade parts are plentiful. You'll never ever have to worry about parts if you buy yourself an FTX Carnage. And all the parts come to more money than the blooming car costs to buy, which is mad. But I like doing stuff that's mad like that because it's pointless, and I like doing pointless stuff. Pointless is exactly what I'm all about. Pointless. So yeah, that's why I chose that as a good example car. And some people say to me as well, you know, they say, you're attacking Nitro. Yeah, you're attacking electric, sorry, because you don't understand electric cars. You only ever had Nitro. That's why you say Nitro is the best. Only go for Nitro. Well, my friends, look. Electric, yeah? We got electric cars. We got a brushed Bugster. I used to have the full-sized Savage Flux about 7 years ago, or whenever it was that came out. I bought one. There's no soul to that, so I sold it. Electric cars are great fun. They really are great fun in the right place. But I can't see the sense in using an electric car in a place where there's no one around. You buy things for a purpose. The purpose of an electric RC car is if you want to use that car somewhere where there's a lot of people, you don't want to annoy them, or there's a sensitive noise problem, you know, the area is sensitive to noise, or something of that nature. So it's a get around, isn't it? You go, I have to have an electric one then, okay. But yeah, but that's why we have electric cars for when we go camping. On a campsite, you can't run anything noisy, obviously, because people are relaxing. But you can run electric RC cars and still have an amount of fun. That's what we have them for. So, listen, for the past 30 years, ever since I was a kid, the first electric car I ever had a bloody wire attached to it, and you had to run along with it. Remote control, that was called. I don't think radio control was really a big thing back then. But yeah, so there's a point to them. And you can't... See, the thing is, and there's a saying that I strongly agree with, and I do strongly agree with it, that people, humans, they will attack things they don't understand. So people who attack Nitro and say Nitro is no good, Nitro, you know, Nitro's dying, Nitro is never any good, everyone must go to electric. They don't understand Nitro. They don't understand an engine. You know, they're scared of an engine. They don't understand it. So that's why they attack it, and they say, no, it's no good. Go to electric, because they don't understand it. That's the reason. Humans are bad for that. Humans will do that. That's what humans do. They attack things they don't understand. And they try to make other people go away from those things. They don't want other people to understand them either. They want the other people to do what they want them to do. A lot of narcissistic people out there. But they're both good in their own places. They've got places that they need to be. And when they're in them places, they're both great. That's my opinion. Think of it this way. You've got some snow tyres on your car, yeah? It's not snowing, it's the middle of summer. It's 30 degrees Celsius, it's very hot. No snow, no rain. Those snow tyres aren't going to be that good, are they? They might be the nuts, the best tyres you can buy for snow. No good in the sunshine. Or the other way around. You've got some slicks, R888s, or whatever the equivalent modern day road legal slick is. But it's the middle of December, and it is snowing. Not going to be much good, are they? No, they're not. It's the same for Nitro and electric. They're both really good at what they are. But they're both even better in their environment. Electric are perfect in an environment where noise is something you need to be careful of. Electric cars are great. In environments where noise isn't a problem, noise doesn't matter. Parks, for example, woodland, other open spaces, car parks, you know, roads out the way, wherever. Nitro's the one. So, you know, if you have an electric car and take it to an open space, I just think that's a waste. You might as well have a nitro car and have more fun and make a load of noise. Simple as that. That's the way I look at things like that anyway. So, I just thought, I always answer every single PM that I can, bloody sometimes. As I say, I don't have social media. Can't bloody stand it. Can't stand it. Social media. Don't want it. Yeah. It's got no place in my head or my heart or whatever you want to say at all. I think it's poisonous. Very, very poisonous. Facebook, Twitter, all that. I used to. Back in the day when they first come about, I was a teenager, and bloody Bebo, MySpace, and then Facebook come about. I remember Facebook when it first happened. It was just a website, frozen website. Didn't refresh by itself, didn't do anything. It was just a website. You had to refresh it and do whatever. Quite liked it. I was on it quite often, along with Bebo and MySpace. And then once I realised what their motive was, and the fact that I did find myself stuck to them quite a lot when I really shouldn't have been. I was just sitting there at the computer waiting for something to happen on these social media accounts. Nothing ever happened. I'm waiting, sitting there, staring at a screen. Whereas nowadays the modern equivalent is people doing the scrolling thing, isn't it? Scrolling up and down the same stuff all day, every day. But yeah, for more than 10 years I have not had a single piece of social media apart from the Instagram, which is where the only reason that's there, the one and only reason it's there, is for you lot. Might put the odd picture on there now and again of an RC car just to keep it sort of alive, sort of thing, just so it actually looks like I do kind of go on it. But I don't go on it that often. I go on it now and again just to see if anyone's sent me a message, and there's always a big list of messages, so I do get through them as quickly as I can, but I don't let them take over my life, because my life is my life. It's as simple as that. And a lot of people ask the questions I've just addressed, so there we go. Definitely 100% get yourself an FTX Carnage. The prices have gone up a lot since they were. I mean, these were about £130 when they came out, and that was a brilliant price. Now they're round about £200, which is a lot of money, but I think they're just about worth that still. So I still recommend, if you do want to get a nitro car and you're not sure what to get and you're brand new to it, but you're open-minded, you've got patience and you're willing to learn, an FTX Carnage is a good way to go. And I normally would say always buy second hand, don't buy brand new, but it depends on you as a personality. Only you know your personality. You know, are you someone that gets frustrated easily and gives up on stuff very easily? In which case you need to buy brand new, because there shouldn't be any problems. If you buy second hand, really, we all know the fact about second hand, you're normally buying someone else's problem, aren't you? Second hand. Why did someone want to sell that? Usually because it's broken, or there's some issue with it that they either don't want to fix or don't know how to fix. And by buying that car, you're then buying that problem, which then you've got to fix. That's just the way second-hand things go. I know sometimes, well, alright, maybe more than sometimes, people sell things genuinely because they just don't want them anymore. Fair enough. But we all know the 100% fact. A lot of the time, something's broken, it's got an issue, so the person can't work it out, so they go, I'm going to sell it. And they sell it. But if you're the sort of person that doesn't give up easy, you've got patience, and you're willing to learn, buy a second-hand Carnage. And just bear in mind that you might have to fix a problem before you can actually use it and learn. But there we go. An FTX Carnage. Yeah, definitely 100%. Worth getting if you want to get into Nitro. As well, something going on from about, they might not be the strongest car in the world, yeah, but I tend to find, and I think there are some people out there which are just bloody heavy-handed, and they just don't give an uncle's monkey, but most people who are getting into Nitro, they're quite gentle. They're quite gentle with them. So I think, you know, that's another reason why I think they're a good car, because they're basic and simple. Maybe not the strongest, but if you're getting into Nitro, you are generally, in my opinion, going to be gentle. You're going to be quite gentle, aren't you? So you shouldn't really be breaking it, really, I think. So, yeah, there we go. Thought I'd kind of just put that out there, try and answer as many of the questions. As I say, I reply to all the questions anyway, directly, but to answer them all in one go, and that's what I've just done. Yes, we do have electric as well. For the past 30 or more years, electric cars have been in our lives. Nitro cars have been in my life for, what is it now, 25 years or something? I don't bloody know. No, about 23 years, something like that. Nitro cars have been, and petrol cars probably about the same. So there we go. I'll see you lot on the next one. Take care. Do you want a little bit of a sneaky peek? Yeah, hang on, just stay there, I'll give you a sneaky peek. Yes, there's a sneaky peek of something that's coming up probably in the next week or so. If you want to see what this is all about, stick around. And I reckon it looks like it might be an interesting one. Bloody hell, what do I get myself into? What on earth do I get myself into? I just don't bloody know. Take care, you lot. I'll see you later on. All the best. Cheerio.